What up, kinfolk? It's your boy Screwface Capone in the house, and you are tuned into 5-Bit News for the week ending March 6, 2021. And in this edition, we take a look at another live service overhaul that's been canceled. Crystal Dynamics has finally found the formula to fix what's wrong with Marvel's Avengers. Sims 4 players have another option for spending money on the game. More drama for Sinking City Developer Frogwares, and finally, Microsoft cleared yet another hurdle in its acquisition of Bethesda. Also after this, we're going to debut another weekly segment called Cool Shit, which I take a look at something that's cool. Sometimes it's game related, sometimes it's not, so stick around afterward to find out what it is for this week. Also, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know when I put out a new video. I know a lot of y'all been watching these videos, and I know a lot of y'all been digging the content. We've had an uptick of new subscribers this past week, so definitely subscribe. It helps me out. Plus, you'll be the first to know when I drop a new video. So you're definitely gonna want to check these things out. So, no more talking. Let's just hop into it. Stop me if you heard this one before. A live service title has a bad launch and was heavily criticized due to its monetization model, despite not being a free-to-play game. The developers behind said game then planned an overhaul of the game, only to cancel it and abandon development. But screw face, you ask. You already dunked on Anthem last week. Oh, I'm not talking about Anthem, kinfolk. I'm talking about Artifacts. Remember that? Valve's Hearthstone-inspired Dota 2 spinoff, which most of you probably forgot about until you heard me mention it just now. The game, which lost over 97% of its player base just 2 months after its 2018 launch, will transition to a free-to-play game. Thus, Valve will give players access to all cards, while any paid cards will be redubbed Collector's Edition cards. No one likely cares at this point, as any players remotely interested in online card games have long since gone back to Hearthstone. Then again, the free-to-play aspect could bring more eyes to the game, though I doubt it. Speaking of live service games, it seems Crystal Dynamics have finally come up with a way to bring players back to its struggling Avengers game and increase its player base. Introduce an improved mission structure, remove all monetization elements and make the cosmetics and game unlockables, bring the PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man content to Xbox and PC, add NFL Super Pro as a playable character. Ninja, please. The real problem apparently was that players were leveling up too fast. That's right, it was way too easy for players to gain higher levels, so Crystal Dynamics will rework the XP curve, making it harder and longer for players to level up as their characters reach higher levels. It's great to see that Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix are on top of this shit, doing what's really important. All jokes aside, this decision is beyond baffling. According to players, one of the good things about Avengers is being able to increase your hero's XP in the endgame, making them even more powerful. It isn't going to curve that. Not the best foot to put forward, as this month will see the Hawkeye content being added to the game along with next generation upgrades. Admittedly, the Hawkeye content looks cool and will feature an appearance by the Hulk villain Maestro, but there's no telling on how much of a shelf life the game has left if Crystal Dynamics doesn't get its ducks in a row. On a side note, I really want to be able to like this game, but it seems that the developers and publishers have been making the wrong moves with this game since before it was released. The biggest issue centers around the game's live service elements. A video game based on a property like Avengers would have sold like hotcakes, while any additional monetization, especially at a time when a property is red hot thanks to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not only that, this is at a time when other Marvel games, mainly Spider-Man PS4, are also moving units without any live service bullcrap. Yeah, while Spider-Man does have a season pass you can purchase, you don't have to pay anything other than what you pay for the base game. Besides the season pass itself, and even the season pass content is enough to justify purchasing it. Jedi Fallen Order, which is a Star Wars title, didn't have any monetization in it at all, besides some deluxe edition upgrades. However, it's widely regarded as one of EA's best Star Wars games, maybe the best Star Wars game to come out of EA. This comes after the backlash they caught over Battlefront 2's excessive monetization. Again, I had high hopes for the Avengers, and I still do, but don't be surprised if Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics decide to pull the plug at some point. If you're a Sims 4 player and you've been looking for new ways to spend money on the game, then EA's gotcha. Players can now buy $5 kits, which contain a small amount of DLC items. EA has released 3 packs: the Throwback Kit, the Country Kitchen Kit, and the Bust the Dust Kit, $5 each. The Throwback Kit contains some nice 90s inspired gear, the Country Kitchen contains some new cabinets, while the Dust Kit contains vacuums you can use to clean up dust bunnies. And by dust bunnies, I mean actual bunnies made of dust. Cute and creepy at the same time. So yeah, basically Sims 4 players now have a new tier of DLC content for their game. Along with the $5 kits, you have the $10 stuff packs, the $20 game packs, and the $40 expansion packs. All this crap, and we still don't have basic things that were cut from Sims 3, mainly creative style and the open world. At this rate, I can guarantee you that Sims 5 will end up being a live service clusterfuck. I hope Pure Lives is real, because that game can't come here soon enough. Ukraine-based developer Frogwares seems to have no luck these days when it comes to their games and their distribution. The Sinking City, a Lovecraft-inspired horror game, returned to Steam after it was pulled several months ago during a dispute with publisher Big Bit Interactive, now going by the name Nacon. However, Frogwares recommends not to buy this version, as it's a version of the game that was allegedly purchased from Games Planet, pirated, then cracked and re-uploaded to Steam without their knowledge. The developer also claims that Nacon stripped their name and logo from the game, claiming that they own the IP, when in fact Frogwares does. The Frogwares logo was also removed from the PS4 and Xbox One releases of the game. Also, Nacon created a tabletop game based on the Sinking City without Frogwares knowing, claiming once again that they own the IP when in fact they don't. There is a lengthy post on their website about the issue that I'll link to in the description. Nacon, meanwhile, released its own statement on the matter, and it is as follows. For the release of the Sinking City on Steam, published by Nacon, Frogwares posted on Twitter urging players not to buy it. We regret that Frogwares persists in disrupting the release of the Sinking City. It was Frogwares who came to Nacon to request financing for the development of the game, and to date, more than 10 million euros have been paid to Frogwares by Nacon. It was Frogwares that relied on our marketing and promotion teams, representing thousands of hours of work and several million euros worth of investment. Now that the game has been fully developed and published, largely thanks to Nacon's money and work, Frogwares would like to revise the terms of the contract to their sole advantage. It's easy to blame the victim, but all we seek is that Frogwares respect its commitments both in the contract and as demanded by the courts. In short, Nacon claims that they financed the development and publishing of the game, and Frogwares isn't playing ball. Now, there are two sides to every story, and Nacon is given theirs, but the thing is, Frogwares has bought the receipts. Some of you might remember that Frogwares is at a similar situation with publisher Focus Home Interactive over the distribution and ownership rights of their Sherlock Holmes games. Again, you can read about it on their site, which I'll link to in the description. As for the game itself, although it's flawed, it's been generally well received by fans. If you want to buy it and support the developers, the publisher recommends you buy it from Games Planet or Origin, as those sites aren't covered by their contract. Also, you can purchase the upcoming PlayStation 5 version as well as the Nintendo Switch version, both of which are also published by Frogwares themselves. In the meantime, the developer is hard at work on Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, an open-world detective game which promises to tell the detective's origins. The game is set for release later this year on PC, current generation, and next generation consoles. It looks like they're publishing this one themselves, which will be a good idea going forward given their issues with both Focus and Nacon. Now, real quick, I just want to clarify some stuff. After I recorded the vocals for this segment, I went back in and did some more digging in of the issue, and it looks like that Frogwares may be violating a court order from the Paris Court of Appeals, ordering them to relist the game with, and this court order came from last year. So, if they are in fact discouraging people from buying the Steam version, then they're kind of so they kind of are undercutting Nacon, and Nacon's already claimed that they did pay everything they were owed, that was owed to Frogwares. Now, I usually tend to take the side of the developer in these disputes, but at the same time, though, I want to make sure both sides are out there, so I'm going to link to some of this stuff in the description below. And while Frogwares might have indeed violated in some parts, I still think it's scummy for Nacon to pirate their game and re-upload it. And as far as like the ownership of the IP, we really don't. It's really kind of murky as how that's turning out. So again, I want to make sure I just got this clarified for folks, and just to make sure that both sides are out there. Finally, Microsoft cleared one more hurdle towards the completion of its Bethesda purchase, as the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has approved the merger. To be exact, and for those not into economics, the SEC published what's called a Notice of Effectiveness for the transaction to its website. The notice is filed by the SEC when they accept a company's resignation. A Form S-4 was also filed indicating a merger or acquisition, in this case acquisition, as Microsoft is purchasing ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Bethesda. I'll link to this in the description below. All that's left is for the European Commission to approve, and Bethesda, along with the studios underneath it, will become part of the Microsoft Game Studios family. The Commission was set to vote on the acquisition last month, but there is currently no word on if they've done so, or if they haven't done so, or if they did do so and haven't made the results public yet. Also, we don't know what this means for exclusivity rights for upcoming Bethesda games going forward. Both parties said that they'll be reviewing games on a case-by-case. Of course, everyone's concerned about the exclusivity rights for Elder Scrolls 6, the upcoming Starfield, and the newly announced Indiana Jones game. Now remember, the games Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo are still set to be timed PS5 exclusives for at least a year. At the very least, however, once this purchase completes, Xbox Game Pass is going to be a little bit bigger. And on a side note, there are also rumors of an event happening later this month where Microsoft will announce, well, something. And by the way, Aaron Greenberg confirmed that they won't have news about Elden Ring. Sorry guys, what were you expecting? Alright kinfolk, it's time for this week's cool shit. So every week after the news, I'm going to take a look at something cool. Sometimes it's gaming related, other times it won't be, like in this case. We're going to start off with WandaVision. With the 9th and final episode premiering on Disney+, now's the time to check out this series if you haven't done so already. The show's plot does a great job of keeping you guessing. Not only that, it's great to see Kat Dennings back as Darcy Lewis and Randall Park back as Jimmy Woo. Not only that, Tiana Paris knocks out the park as a grown-up version of Monica Rambeau. I realize some hardcore Marvel fans will be disappointed by some of the twists, but if you go in and enjoy the show for what it is, rather than what you're expecting it to be, you'll enjoy it a lot more. It does a great job of building on past events in the MCU and setting up things that come next. Also, it's been 2 weeks and I still can't get that Agatha All Along jingle out of my head. Oh yeah, slight spoiler alert. Neither Magneto nor NFL Super Pro show up. I mean, come on fam, what are you expecting? Anyway, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. So that wraps up for another edition of 5-Bit News, along with the first edition of Cool Shit. What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comments. If you like what you just saw, click the thumbs up icon. And once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know when I put out a new video. So I got a bunch of new stuff on the way, and I hope to start in. Hopefully if I'm not too busy with work, I can start up streams again this week. So stay tuned. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'm out 51,000 G, kinfolk.